I don't know about you, but I love comfort food. Macaroni and cheese, oatmeal, all that is peach cobbler, chicken and dumplings. But guess what? Today on Johnny Wolfpack Cooking, we're going meatloaf. But we're not just going any meatloaf. We are elevating the meatloaf with a Johnny Wolfpack Tex Mex Southwestern meatloaf that is going to knock your socks off. So stay tuned. All right, everyone, like I said in the intro, the best thing about cooking is comfort food, right? So we're gonna make a meatloaf. I love meatloaf. As a good friend of mine, Goose, used to say, don't let your meat loaf, so by golly, we're not. And we're gonna make a Johnny Wolfpack Tex Mex meatloaf. And there's a couple little variations that you're gonna wanna pay attention to that's gonna elevate this thing from here to here. Well, maybe from here to here, because meatloaf's already up there as far as I'm concerned. So we're gonna start with 2 pounds ground beef. I got it in the bowl here. I took, instead of breadcrumbs, I crumbled up some corn tortillas. You heard me right. 1 cup corn tortillas. You gotta have a binder. So that's gonna help with that southwestern flair. 1 egg, beaten a little bit. I got 2 tablespoons of Johnny Wolfpack Tex Mex. Got a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Got a 1/4 cup of cilantro. You don't like cilantro? Too bad. It helps make it kind of that Tex-Mex feeling. Then I have, we can't say this very loud, I got some onions and some garlic in here, and I minced them up real fine because the kids don't know I hide them in everything that I do because they claim they don't like onion. Now you're probably saying, Johnny Wolfpack, what are you holding there? Well, back in the day in Johnson City, Tennessee, my friend Craig had these little chopper things that was like a lawnmower. And you pull on it like this, it's got a string, and it chops everything inside of it. And truthfully, we used to make fun of him for having one, but I have one, Prepology. You kind of put everything in, you pull it like a lawnmower. You know, kind of gives you those flashbacks of, oh my God, I used to push mow the lawn. But look, it really minces it down very, very fine. So these blades, it's got like 3 blades in there. They're sharp. Trust me when I say they're sharp. And it gets this beautiful, look at that, beautiful mince. The more you, I gotta be careful when I say this, the more you pull it, the finer it becomes, right? So now I've got all that in there, everybody in the pool, so to speak. I'm gonna mix all this up. It's where you get your hands dirty. While we're mixing, I've got my oven preheating to 375. And this guy, oh, in fact, there it is. It's telling me, hey man, good timing, I'm ready, 375, let's rock and roll. So I'm gonna mix this up nice. Again, the corn tortillas ground up are gonna form your binder. That's like your breadcrumbs. Got your egg like a standard meatloaf. Got my Johnny Wolfpack Tex-Mex in there, and then I'll show you how we're gonna finish this thing. So you should be able to pick it up like that, right? We're gonna take it, we're gonna throw it in a loaf pan. I line my loaf pan with plastic wrap because I'm not gonna cook it in the loaf pan. I'm gonna push it down so it's Purdy, right? Not Brock Purdy with the 49ers, but so it's Purdy. So we've got, I'm gonna mash this guy down. I could cook it in the loaf pan. If I did, I wouldn't put the plastic wrap on there because the plastic wrap, I'm gonna pull it out, right? So here's my sheet pan. Set this guy, that's loud. Set this guy down, slap it down like that, and voila, I have a nice loaf right there. You center that guy up a little bit. Now, for your glaze, a lot of people use ketchup. A little brown sugar, maybe a little vinegar, ketchup, brown sugar combo. Well, why? We have that combo. It's called Backyard Red. So I'm gonna take this after I wash my hands. I'm gonna apply this onto the meatloaf, and then I'm gonna put, well, you know what? We're just gonna do it. I'll wipe the bottle off. We're gonna pour that on there like that. Not too thick. You should say, well, would you have a brush right now? Silicone brush? No, I don't. I got my fingers. Right, so I'm gonna just kind of bathe this guy around with my hand. I know, Johnny Wolfpack's high tech here. We use fingers, we use hands. Look at that. I'm gonna glaze him. I'm gonna glaze him again toward the end. I just wanted to put a little bit on there for that guy to cook. Now, we're gonna go 375 in the oven until it's done. Probably about 45, 50 minutes, but we wanna make sure that it's done. We'll use an internal probe to make sure that it's done over 165 degrees, where I like to go with this. So hang tight, we'll be right back and I'll show you, it's gonna be finished. So we'll show you the completed project in just a few minutes. I know there's a lot of barbecue sauces out there on the market, but I dare you to try this Backyard Red and tell me that it's not one of the finest you've ever tried. It is exactly how I like my barbecue. It's got a little sweetness on the front end, but then you get that vinegary, peppery tang that balances it all out. I'm telling you folks, I've eaten barbecue all over the United States, and this represents that barbecue. So I don't care whether you're a pit master or just a backyard cook. Go to JohnnyWolfpack.com and order you some Backyard Red and thank me later. All right, meatloaf is 165 degrees. It took a little longer than an hour, so this is why I always recommend having one of these. This is a Thermapen 1, Thermapen.com. Go pick one up because you can just check the temperature. 165. Yep. And it was that fast. I don't have to sit there and wait for that little. It's ready to go. So it's 165. I want to glaze it a little bit more now. So yes, I'm not using my hand this time. I'm using a brush, silicone brush. But here is a Backyard Red, just like ketchup, right? But we're using Backyard Red because we want flavor. Ketchup is good, Backyard Red is great. So a little Backyard Red, we're gonna brush that guy on there to create a nice, sweet, vinegary, tangy, tomatoey glaze, because that's what Backyard Red's all about. I'm gonna put this guy back in about 5 minutes because it's done, but I want to set that glaze. I'm gonna put a little more on there. Why not? You know, if some is good, more is better, right? All right, about 5 more minutes. We're gonna let it rest after that. We're gonna take it out of the oven. We're gonna let it rest. At least 15 minutes, guys. I'm gonna go about 30, but I want you to rest it for at least 15 minutes. We'll be back. So check that out right there. That's what I'm talking about. I got a Johnny Wolfpack Tex Mex Meatloaf. Turned out fantabulous. And when I think of comfort food, I think of meat. I think of macaroni and cheese. I think of meatloaf. I love good meatloaf. Now let's try this guy. Wow. So immediately you get that southwestern flair because of the corn tortilla chips as a binder. Kind of makes you feel like you're eating something in the Southwest. I don't want to say I'm speechless, but it really takes you there. That Johnny Wolfpack Red as a glaze should be mandatory by law for every meatloaf ever made. It's the perfect combination on a meatloaf. So hey, comfort food, whether it be game day or Sunday or Tuesday, doesn't matter. Try this Southwestern meatloaf here with the Johnny Wolfpack Tex-Mex and the Johnny Wolfpack Backyard Red. You won't be sorry. Till next time, don't let your meatloaf